Oh, hey guys, it's T-Matt, and I'm back again, man, with JasonBlaha, our good friend, the influencer, the strength and fitness guy, yeah, the gym slave, recruiting, lifting slave, whatever you want to call it, man. Recruiting, lifting slave himself. We're going to review this video too. He just popped up. JasonBlaha says people with anti-GMO stance have no actual arguments or evidence. Okay. Yeah, let's see what he has to say.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would sit down and do another video for you guys and gals. Let's get into this. All right, we're going to talk about something a little different. I had someone try to get in a conversation with me in my comments, and they made this statement that, GMOs, out of a whole list of foods they thought people shouldn't be eating, and then of course, they gave a list of foods they thought people should be eating to lose weight or to be healthy, and GMOs was on the list of stuff they listed. And sorry guys, this is 2024. The whole anti-GMO thing has died out. Okay, that was a fad. Yes, there were countries that had laws on it in Europe, but those have been largely dropping. The research has kind of largely shown, look, the GMOs that we have appear to be pretty much safe. They're necessary to get the amount of foods that people need to even sustain the population. So let's set that aside. Let's look at that and say, yeah, we know that if all GMO foods went away, billions of people would starve to death. Like that is not even debated anymore. But let's set that to the side, because people say, well, we can still make poor people eat them. So how about people who are a little more affluent who have the option? Well,
I like when he said we make poor people eat them. Doesn't Blaha mean we'll make the slaves eat them? I think that's what he was trying to say exactly. I'm doing a reaction video.
when you look at that, it still doesn't appear to be an issue. And what I would say to people who make this statement, let's step back, and when you say GMO, you need to understand that is in a broad category. That is not a specific thing. So if you say GMOs are bad, well, obviously they can't all be bad. That doesn't even make sense. You're telling me that
They can't all be bad? They are bad. All of them are bad because they're not your natural human diet. They're all bad if they're not your human natural diet. How about that? Okay? They're all bad for you as a human, as an apex predator. And you don't have to take my word for it, but in nature, you're not going to be eating any GMO. Doesn't exist out there. None of these things exist. These are all man-made again. I mean, Blaha, I guess maybe, I don't know. People think that this is real, this artificial environment, artificial food, bro. I don't know, man, whatever. All right, let's see what else he has to say there. This is just getting really scary now at this point.
Possible genetic modification, just like any possible mutation to the foods you're eating, is bad. Okay, that doesn't make sense, because if that happened, then everything that we eat would be poisonous and deadly to us, because there would be...
It is poison. It is deadly to you. In large amounts, but in small amounts they think you're fine with that. As long as you're poisoning yourself with a little bit of poison, you're going to be fine. It's like alcohol. They're selling you poison in the corner store. It's called alcohol. It's called the liquor shop. You go buy your liquor and you drink your poison. Is it enough to kill you? Well, it's not enough to kill you the amount that you're drinking, but any more, if you exceed that limit, yeah, definitely it could kill you. So I don't know what Blaha's talking about.
Normal massive mutations that happen all the time in foods that you ate, right? Even stuff.
Massive mutations in the food that you eat all the time. If there's mutations in the food, wouldn't it mutate you? What happens to your DNA?
That you're getting right now from there, you're going to get a few mutations here and there that just occurred that made massive changes to that organism. That's just the nature of things. So,
you get a mutation too. Exercising. Exercise shortens your lifespan. Exercise is unhealthy for you. It increases reactive oxygen species. Listen, NCBI, PubMed, they've done studies on these before. They always talk, they mention it. It says, it makes you fit, but it has nothing to do, it doesn't correlate to longevity. It doesn't make you live longer. If anything, it shortens your lifespan, exercise. Any labor work shortens lifespan, yes, and increases ROS and oxygen. What is it? Nitrogen as well. This reactive oxygen species and nitrogen. It raises both of them, and Yeah, it shortens your lifespan. It increases. Yeah, just it shortens your lifespan, man. It's unhealthy for you to have that. It causes DNA damage. Okay.
Every change can't automatically be bad. So when I have someone who says, well, GMOs are bad, my response is always, look, if you're going to say that, then
Here's the thing. A lot of things are bad for you. Okay, but people are gonna say, well, if you do it in moderation, you're okay. Yeah. If you do anything that's artificial in moderation, right? That's what you're doing. Is what you're doing. That's what you're saying. If I do these artificial things in moderation, I should be fine. Will you? Are you? I don't know.
let's discuss it logically and present your evidence in your case. So you can't just make
Here's my evidence. Nature out there, artificial environment here called city. You understand me? There's no Walmart out there, dude, okay? If it can't be found out in nature, then it doesn't exist, Blaha.
a statement. So I want you to pick one. So instead of
It only exists in your head, Blaha.
just saying the whole category, find the GMO that you are most concerned with, which is the one that really, really has you upset, right? Because they can't.
Okay, corn. How about that one? Corn. And they put it in all your food. Corn. They use it for everything. They use it as fillers. Man, they they do everything with corn right now. It's crazy. So there you go. It's GMO. Okay.
All be the same. So is there a specific food that is genetically modified commonly? Okay, bananas or corn.
Why did he say bananas? They haven't GMO'd bananas yet. They have mentioned that. America was specific about that in Central America. They said they would not buy bananas if bananas were GMO'd. See that? So I don't know what he's talking about since they don't grow bananas in the US. But yeah, corn is GMO, dude. That definitely he just brought up corn. Corn is GMO. It's in the US.
All right, so I want you to take that food that you're worried about, and I want you to tell me which gene has been modified, this genetically modified organism, which gene has been modified. Give me the number of.
Okay, don't forget wheat has been, they already mentioned this many times over. Wheat is GMO. It has been modified, yes. The bread that you're eating today with that wheat that's made to make that bread that you're eating today is not the same as the bread that or the wheat people were eating in the past. And that's what's causing even more problems in humans because of these GMO fucking plants, bro. Get it? Yeah.
That gene, and then tell me what mechanism the harm is going to be caused by. So if you're going to make the statement that something is bad, right, it's just bad, then you need to present a case for it.
It's unnatural. Here's the case. It is, here, number one, it is unnatural for you to eat wheat. That's for sure. Number two, this wheat that you are eating now is GMO'd. And if it's been modified, then I don't know what it could do to you. But people are running into problems eating them now. All of a sudden, they're getting more problems. So experience says if they're running into more problems eating GMO, see what I mean? More problems than they were in the past eating just these artificial plants which they're not supposed to be eating. Then what does that say? See, it's ramped up. Like the illnesses, the sicknesses, the whatever, people coming out crippled and who knows what out there are causing this. What is happening in society today? Ask yourself, what's going on in society? Who's the government protecting now? Who's the group that the government is protecting heavily? They're protecting a group. They're so concerned about this group in America, but they're not concerned about World War III. Everybody's going to die soon. They're more concerned about those people. Why is that? Why are they so concerned about them? Why did they become that way?
So you need to tell me on the banana, the bananas are oftentimes genetically modified, and it's the 121362.
I don't know about bananas. I never heard they were modified. They want to, but they have not. They have not modified them because the U.S. will not buy them, they said. And a bunch of other countries will not buy them if they're GMO'd. They come in their own package too, bananas, don't they? They have their own little package. They don't need to be packaged. They have their own package.
B57 gene to where they flipped this one codon over here. And the mechanism by which it harms you is
as if Blaha knows anything about science. Okay, he's a scientist now.
it creates a protein.
Does it?
It creates a protein that puts stress on your liver. And it does.
It produces a protein that puts stress on your liver. Okay, lots of stuff puts stress on the liver. Okay, yes, Blaha.
That's because it creates hepatotoxicity over here through this pathway, and that protein is puts strain on the liver, similar to the way alcohol does, right?
Wait a second. Isn't alcohol a poison, Blaha? Isn't alcohol poison? It puts strain the same way that alcohol puts strain on your liver. Okay.
That's what I mean. Like, that is what you need to be able to say if you're going to say that they're bad. Because otherwise you're making a massive hysterical statement based upon nothing other than the fact that scientists have done something to it. Well, here's the problem with saying humans
They have done something to it. They have modified it. That's what they've done.
have done something to it. Or it's not natural. None of the foods you eat are natural.
Wait a second. None of the foods that I eat is natural. I eat animals. They're natural. He says none of the foods you eat are natural. He just proved it to you. If it's not natural, what is it? Artificial. Blaha is always contradicting himself. I love when he says none of the food you're eating is natural. It's not natural for you to eat that food. Want to know why? Because it's artificial to a human to eat that food. You get it? It's unnatural for you to eat unnatural food. You have to eat natural food. Meat. That's why he's telling you, none of you slaves out there, you gym lifting slaves, are eating natural food. Get it? None of you are eating natural food, bro. Get it? Meat. Which is natural. You're eating tofu and I don't know, all this processed food, like hot dogs with mustard, what he eats, and beans and rice and coffee and sugar and milk and this processed milk and whatever else. So it's all unnatural. Okay.
So you have to discuss the mechanism of harm. Most of the superfoods that we get, things that we think of as superfoods that have enormous vitamin and mineral densities.
Yeah, you want to know what that is? What a superfood is? Meat. Beef is a superfood. A liver, an organ from a cow is a superfood. The liver is considered a superfood. Yes, it is packed with every nutrient in it, and I mean packed.
They don't occur in nature. Broccoli's a...
He said they don't occur in nature. They don't. They don't occur out there in plant nature. They occur in beef.
For example. So people will say, oh, I eat natural foods. Well, you say you eat broccoli, right?
What? Well, these people say that we eat natural. Oh, we eat broccoli. They didn't say... If they said they eat natural, that means they eat meat, Blaha, not broccoli. That's unnatural.
Okay. You eat Angus beef. You eat grass-fed Angus.
There, finally he admits it. You eat grass-fed Angus beef. I do, yes, Blaha, I do. I eat Angus beef.
Beef and broccoli are staples in your diet.
No, broccoli is not a staple in my diet, dude. But Angus beef is natural, and it is my diet. See, look at sneaky Blaha. Look at him with his finger on his mouth, bro. He can't hold it in anymore.
You know neither one of those things occurred in nature, right?
What? None of them occurred in nature? Beef didn't occur in nature? Of course it does. It's out in nature. What's he talking about?
They're not natural. These are...
What? Angus beef is not natural? Holy mackerel. This guy really is out to lunch.
Selectively bred species that humans have made.
Selectively bred species, yes, but they're still the same. They're not bred. They're oh man. Yeah. This guy, man. Okay. They're farmed animals, okay? We talked about this. I talked about this in other videos. I'm not going to go over this again, man. We already know what this is, okay? So the animal is not the same animal as in wild in captivity. And so, I mean, in captivity, they've kind of changed a little bit, okay? They modified. They become, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Not modified. But Yeah, they're still the same animal. It's still meat, still the same animal. They look slightly different, but they're still animals. They're natural. They're natural.
Before you were born, broccoli's not an actual food found in nature. It comes from a little flowery plant that we
Yeah, that has been modified. Broccoli has been modified by men. All fruits and vegetables are modified to fake.
have selectively bred to make this highly nutritious vegetable.
Man, has he been watching my video, man, when I was talking about domesticated animals and domesticated humans? Yeah, a cow, they're domesticated, but they're still cows. Look, a pig is domesticated, but if a pig escapes from captivity, goes out in the wild, DNA kicks in, whatever, DNA changes, okay? He starts growing fur, he gets more muscular, and he grows tusks for protection out in nature. Yeah, he becomes his natural self again in nature. See what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, whatever.
And several other plants came out of that same species. I think Brussels sprouts are also part of the same species. But we think of these as extremely healthy foods because they are. They're man-made.
Yeah, those plants are what domesticate you, Blaha. Do you understand me? They fed you, they conditioned you to eat those plants so they could do that to you, so they could domesticate you. That's why you look like a domesticated human. You look terrible. Your hair's gone, bald, fat face. Your teeth are all crooked. We can see when you open your mouth. Your teeth are all crooked. I'd say that you are really damaged. I don't know what it is. My teeth are not crooked, they're straight. I have good jawbone structure ever since I was young. Because the majority of the time growing up, I ate meat. My mom tried to force me to eat vegetables and fruits. Fruits, definitely, I never ate. Some vegetables, they would force me to eat sometimes, or potato. So, but most of the time I would eat meat. I was a poor eater when I was young, so I would just eat the meat and run. Or my mom would give me like pieces of sausages to eat, to munch on all the time, and pork and this and that, pork chops, and some beef and whatever, chicken noodle soups. I ate a lot of meat growing up, and I drank a lot of milk, which my mom didn't like. She didn't like me drinking milk and stuff. So I really like animal products growing up. So I don't really know. You look totally destroyed, dude. You look destroyed eating these plants. You keep talking about them because they must have force fed you these plants, and look what happened to you. Look at this. This is what happens to you. This is terrible. I don't know at this point. Can you reverse this, Blaha? Maybe try going on a nice raw carnivore diet.
We selectively bred them for generations to create this food with a completely different look and a completely different nutrition profile to anything found in nature.
And you've been eating it. That your parents have been feeding it to you, Blaha.
Cattle is a domesticated breed that we have selected.
Guys, is he not copying my videos now because I said domesticated? He watches all my videos. Yes, they're domesticated. And so are you, Blaha, eating those fake, artificial, whatever, the stuff you're eating. He's learning off me. He's finally educating himself. And he's always bringing up the stuff that I bring up in my videos about domestication.
Bred to grow faster, to be bigger, to have more meat.
Yes, some of them have been domesticated to do that. These these Belgian blues and stuff and all that, they've been trying to do that. But cows actually were a bigger version of themselves when they brought them to the farm. So why are they smaller? Why don't they breed them bigger, Blaha? You see what I mean? He doesn't get it.
Be hardier in cold climates. The meat content on that is not natural. The cattle in nature,
No, the meat content is always natural. Just because they were domesticated. See what I mean? Doesn't mean. Look, I never said that a human eating an unnatural diet is domesticating them. They become unnatural. I said you become domesticated. You don't look like your counterpart in nature. You understand me? So the animals that are domesticated on farms, they don't look like their counterpart in nature. That's all. That's all it really is.
Cattle do not have the sort of muscle growth content that that animal has. We bred it for that. And
You still carry muscles on your body, skin, bone, and all that. So do these animals. But yes, I would say, I mean, I would prefer to eat wild animals out in nature. That's what's going to undomesticate you. What domesticates a human being? Eating these domesticated things. I'm not sure. I know plants, these plants, if you eat them, they'll domesticate you. Now, the animals that are domesticated, when you eat them, are they also contributing to this domestication? Possibly. I don't know. I can't tell you. And neither does Blaha. Do you understand me? He doesn't know anything. He's a human. So we don't know for sure. Now, you'd have to go out in nature and find out. Start eating wild animals and living out in nature, and maybe you'll change like that pig turns into a boar. Get it? I don't know.
the same thing, even if it's grass-fed and grew in a field, that is not natural. Wild game does not have.
Wow. So then you're not natural. Blaha has to admit humans are unnatural. They are domesticated, therefore they're unnatural. But he won't admit it.
Nearly as much fat on it as even grass-fed cattle does. But I'm not even getting into the grain feeding to where we fatten them up. They're leaner animals. They're smaller, leaner.
Yeah, that's what domesticates these animals. Somewhat of an unnatural diet, certain things they're doing out there, a bunch of stuff. That's what domesticates you, specifically the diet.
Totally different. Totally different. You're not eating natural stuff already. It's all man-made.
Did I not say that in my videos? It's all man-made. I said that. I said domesticated, unnatural, it's all man-made. Yes, it's not man-made, it's manipulated. It's man-manipulated. That's what it is. Engineered and manipulated. Man doesn't make anything. He manipulates, he engineers.
It's man-made. And so if you're going to take that position that if humans have...
Animals are not man-made, but these plants that man is engineering, yes, you could say these are man-made plants, yes, because they're not found in nature. Now, the animals, are they man-made? No, they're domesticated. Are humans man-made? No, we're domesticated. We're becoming domesticated. We are still natural out in nature. We're just domesticated because we're in this artificial environment.
Mess with it. So they say, well, I'm scared because I don't know what they did to it.
Listen, domesticated and engineered are two different things. If you're engineering plants which cannot be found in nature, then it's a manipulation. That isn't a domestication, but those engineered plants will domesticate you when you eat them. But that doesn't mean that you're unnatural. You're just domesticated.
Well, go research it. The people who are doing this stuff are scientists who are not doing this to harm people. They're doing it to help feed the world. To be able...
They're doing it to help feed the world, not harm people? What are you talking about, man? They're doing it for profit, okay? Otherwise, they put you on your natural diet. They want to make money. And then they make money off your suffering when they feed you these so-called engineered foods, unnatural engineered foods.
To give people enough nutrition to survive around the world to help deal with famines and poverty and starvation. Like a lot of the GMO foods are the same things we've selectively bred for. We're selectively breeding them to be hardier, to have a higher nutrition profile, to grow faster, right? So that we can get higher quality food to people with more vitamins and minerals in it for less work and less money and less field space, less pesticides, less insecticides, all these things. That is what they are doing. So to jump up and make this statement, so I would say to people, you can't just say all GMOs. You need to be specific, because if every GMO is a completely different thing, they've completely modified a different gene through a different pathway for a different reason. Keep in mind, these billions of genes that happen with mutations or selective breeding anyways, they're changing all the time, then you need to specify the one. You don't just go GMO.
You can't specify anything. It would be costly. They modify. Do they modify your genes? Yes, that's how they domesticate you. Hello. They modify your genes by domesticating you. What is Blaha trying to say here exactly? That's what it does.
No, you need to specify which gene on the banana you have a problem with and explain your concerns. Otherwise, you just
They GMO it. They GMO it because they're having issues with whatever they're producing these things in mass amounts, and they're all close together, bundled up. They're not really. That's not natural in nature for them to all be bundled up. They're usually they're in separate columns somewhere, growing here, growing there. These banana trees. They don't like to be close together, and that's what causes disease within these plants. And then these sections can't be used again for growth when it comes to bananas. That's the reason why they want to GMO them. They want to protect them from these bacteria or these sicknesses, ailments. What happens when humans are bundled up together, like in China or Tokyo? They're all so close together. Disease. That is the problem with these expanding populations, exploding populations. There's too many people now. They're too close together. Everybody's riding like transit. They're all standing up and sitting in. Back in the day when I took transit as a kid, there was nobody riding transit. There were some pregnant women, this, that. The men had cars. They went to work. Now everybody's taking transit. They're all close together, huddled in there, standing up, practically head to head. They're touching each other. It's crazy. So that's what's going to cause more sicknesses and ailments, people being too close to each other.
not ignorant. And the thing is, the whole anti-GMO thing has died out. It has died down because it's turned out that all the fears and most of this haven't come true. And most of them, even the websites and the groups that were anti-GMO have moved on to...
Look, that's not what's causing all these metabolic diseases, the GMO. I don't know about that. It's the GMO that is domesticating you. It's domesticating you. Now, what's causing the metabolic diseases, as far as what I know, what science says, that they've done tests on, what's causing these things, cancer, this, that, and all that, diabetes, sugar, these unnatural diets that you're eating. Now, that's what's causing it. Now, what's causing you to become domesticated? Well, it's still the unnatural foods, but the GMO'd foods, they're modified now. They're domesticating you even more. Get it? Because they're modified at some certain degree. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's complicated.
Completely other conspiracies at this point, because they realize they're not making the market on the hysteria from it. No one's really listening anymore, so they've jumped over to other stuff, like different sort of vaccines and things. That's what most of their concerns are at this point, and that's what the data is showing. This is not...
So you need vaccines, is that it? Why? You need vaccines to overcome eating these natural diets. Okay.
Even something that people are really actively against anymore. That was a phase. And even countries that held those positions in Europe and stuff have started reversing them.
I feel so sorry for Blaha. All he has to do is go on his natural diet and he's going to change. My jawline is starting to come back. My skin is so much better. I just dropped every type of problem that I had eating something unnatural, just disappeared, man. My hair's better. My eyesight's better. My teeth are so strong. My nails are so strong. I don't know. And my power has come back. I noticed I had so many problems like eating these unnatural foods, and just being on a natural diet, and the more natural I go, eating more raw, the better I get all the time.
Walls and saying, okay, yeah, it turns out not really evidence for this. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you guys.
Here's the thing: I buy eggs. I have eggs in the fridge all the time. I buy these good pasture raised eggs at the store, and I eat them raw. I never cook them, never. I know people that have they go online, they do videos, they say, oh, I eat raw eggs. I've eaten raw eggs. But then you see them later, they're doing stuff, they're cooking their raw eggs, they're cooking them. They cook everything. At least eat your eggs raw. If you can't eat anything else raw, eat your eggs raw. Buy some pasteurized eggs and eat them raw, dude. Eat them in the morning raw. That's going to help. That's going to take you further and farther. You know what I mean? So it's something you have to do for yourself if you really care about yourself. But if you don't care about yourself, you're not going to go all out. So tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'll see you in the next video, friend. See, you're being domesticated. He's very domesticated. If you look at Blaha's mouth, if you look at his facial features, very domesticated. Hair's gone. He's got poor eyesight. He's wearing glasses, and his teeth are all crooked. That is extreme domestication right there. And his body just looks really strange. He's got a very strange physical look when you see him working out. And he's suffering from sarcopenia. He has metabolic diseases, skin diseases, psoriasis, and a bunch of stuff in ear problems, like he said in his videos. So what is the cause of that? Domestication. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends.